section 3.3, we're going to talk about angles formed by transversals. So, what is a transversal? It's a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at different points. So, for example, we have line M and line N, and transversal T intersects the coplanar lines at two different points. So, this is called a transversal. We're going to look at 4 different relationship types. The first one is corresponding angles, and those are angles that occupy corresponding positions. So for example, angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding because they're both in the top left-hand corner. 2 and 6 are corresponding because they're both in the top right corner. Angle 3 and angle 7 are corresponding because they're both in the bottom left-hand corner. And angle 4 and angle 8 are corresponding because they're both in the bottom right-hand corner. So if they're in the same position, same spot, then they're corresponding. Alternate interior angles are angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal between the intersected lines. So alternate means opposite side of the transversal. Interior means the inside. So the inside angles, the interior angles are 3, 4, 5, and 6 because they're on the inside of these two lines. Alternate means on opposite sides of the transversal. So for example, angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles, and angle 4 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles. They're on the inside of these two lines, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Alternate exterior angles are angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal outside of the two intersected lines. So my exterior means outside. So my exterior angles are 1, 2, 7, and 8. So they're on the outside of these two lines. And then alternate means opposite sides of the transversal. So angle 1 is on the opposite side of this transversal as angle 8. So those are alternate exterior angles, and angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles. Again, opposite sides of the transversal, and they're on the outside of these two lines. So exterior means outside. And the last one we have is same side interior angles, and these are angles that lie on the same side of the transversal between the two intersected lines. So interior means inside. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 are my inside angles. So they're inside the lines. And 3 and 5 are on the same side of the transversal, so they're same side interior angles. Angle 4 and angle 6 are on the same side of the transversal, so they are considered same side interior angles. So same side of the transversal on the inside of the two lines. So describe the relationship between the angles. These are inside angles, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Okay, so they're alternate interior angles. Okay, angle 3 and angle 4 are on the outside of my two lines, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal, which means that they are alternate exterior angles. And angle 5 and angle 6 are on the inside of my transversal. So here's my transversal, and angle 5 and angle 6 are on the inside, and they're on the same side as the transversal. They're both above the transversal. So these are called same side interior angles. So if we look at another example, this is just a real life example of some architecture. And here's the angles that are formed. So we're going to list all the types of the angles. So corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are angles that are in the same position. So angle 1 is corresponding to angle 5. And they are both in the top left-hand corner. Angle 3 and angle 7 are in the top right-hand corner. Angle 2 and angle 6 are in the bottom left-hand corner. and angle 4 and angle 8 are both in the bottom right-hand corner. So they are corresponding. Alternate interior angles. So let's look at the interior angles. My interior angles are 3, 4, 5, and 6. So alternate interior angles are angle 3 and angle 6 because they're on opposite sides of the transversal. And then we have angle 5 and angle 4 because they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Alternate exterior angles. So let's look at our exterior angles. So if 3, 4, 5, and 6 were on the inside, we know angle 1, 2, 7, and 8 are on the outside. They're my exterior. So angle 1 is on the opposite side of the transversal as angle 8. So they're exterior because they're on the outside, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. And then we also have angle 2 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles. So I'm going to erase those and we're going to talk about same side interior. So these are my interior or my inside angles because they're inside the two lines. So on the same side we have angle 3 and angle 5. And then another pair of same side interior angles are angle 4 and angle 6. So one more example, describe the relationship, angle 4 and angle 5. So here's angle 4 and angle 5. These are on the inside and they're on the opposite sides of the transversal. So we call these alternate interior angles. Let's look at angle 4 and angle 6. These are on the inside of the two lines and they're on the same side of the transversal. So these are called same side interior angles. Angle 2 and angle 7. These are on the outside of my two lines and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. So alternate for opposite sides and exterior for outside. So alternate exterior angles. Angle 4 and angle 8. Ooh, they're both in the bottom right-hand corner, so these are called corresponding angles. Angle 1 and angle 5. These are both in the top left-hand corner, so they're in the same position, so we call them corresponding angles. And our last one, angle 3 and angle 5. These are same side of the transversal and they're on the inside of my two lines, so same side interior.